Good evening, everybody. My name is Zach Conrad. I'm one of the two directors here. We also have a third director tonight, but we will introduce those all later. And I want to welcome you to our evening program. We are so excited that you're here, and we hope that you enjoy the music as we feature our first hour 7th grade cadet band and our 8th grade symphonic band. We're going to open up with our 7th grade first hour cadet band, with being conducted by Miss Kristen Dykey. What we call awkward silence. Seriously, thank you for your patience. Just making it quick. Just a moment. transition to our next piece, I want to introduce our next conductor. We've been very fortunate the past 8 weeks. We've had a student teacher working with us from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Prior to his time with us, he was actually student teaching with Mark Witt, who is a beginning band teacher in our district, and he joined us about halfway through the semester. And I think the students would agree that he's been a great addition. He's done a great job working with them. He's going to conduct for us a piece. So if you could all welcome Mr. Connor Lutke. We need to transition some of our 7th grade equipment to our 8th grade band, so if you can just give us a moment or two, we'll be very fast with that. Thank you.
I don't want to talk too long, but as I was sitting there, I had planned to talk to you about one thing, and two other things came up. So the kids are used to this. This is the one time, kids, you can take a nap and not necessarily listen. First is the piece that's coming up, the Haunted Carousel. One of my favorite things about teaching 8th grade band, and I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band, and I love the 7th graders, but one of the really cool things about teaching 8th grade band is this is the year that they are starting to get past just playing the ink that's written on the page, and they start to learn to play with expression. They learn how to play with their heart. I have told them that if they play with the right expression on each piece, they should absolutely have the ability to control their parents' minds. What you want to do with this is your choice. But we've talked about the exciting parts should be so exciting that they get you sitting on the edge of the seat, and their goal, whether they've shared this with you or not, is to get you so excited and so far on the edge of your seat that you actually fall off. The things that should be intimidating, scary, I have told them that after the concert, if you do this right, your parents should be afraid to go to sleep with you in the same house. And the beautiful things should be so beautiful that they can walk up to you at the end of the concert and ask for anything they want. And your only reaction is going to be, anything you want, my perfect child. Okay? I did not tell them what to ask for, so if they're asking for sports cars and horses and all that stuff, that's on them. But I hope you get a chance to hear that tonight. The Haunted Carousel is a piece of program music, and what it's written, its sole design is to bring about certain images. And this was a fun one to do with the kids because this is about a haunted circus that comes to life at night. And you'll hear different apparitions appear and disappear with the different instruments as they come in and then they drop out. And what was fun is we were working on this and not quite getting it. And so I told them I gave them a couple minutes to practice it on their own. And we read what the piece was about in the program notes. And then I said, experiment on your instrument. How would you make those images come to mind? And they really did a nice job with that. But while I have a captive audience, I know my husband tunes me out. I just want to check. This is the first time we've tried a program with a QR code. Anybody take advantage of that tonight? Show of hands. Okay. I know it was kind of a last minute thing. We decided to test run it last minute tonight. But our interest is seeing, as budgets get tighter in the schools, how much money can we save on actually printing programs themselves. So if you found that useful, please shoot us an email and let us know. And the third thing, I want to thank you for supporting your students in music. You very often hear about STEM and the importance of STEM. I don't know if you're aware of the other acronym besides STEM, it's STEAM. And STEAM is the science, technology, engineering, math, but it also includes arts. And that's something that starts to, as the STEM takes off, which is great, it's really important that we don't lose the arts. You know the value of this. You have seen your child take something that is difficult and stick with it to the final product. You have seen their growth. And the arts is something that should never go away. It's something that allows kids to express themselves. And I think the world will be a lot better place if we continue to allow people to do that and have outlets for their emotions. So as you talk to other parents, as you talk to administrators, please share your story about the arts in your child, and let's make sure it's something that we can keep going for them. Thank you.
So I promised Mrs. Dykey I would talk about this song before we play it, and you'll understand why in a moment. So this song that you're about to hear is called A+. And just so you know that there are 8,665 different pitches in the song. And consider this, every single note also has a dynamic, an articulation, and a rhythmic component that goes along with it. So there are 25,995 possible mistakes that could be made. So what this song purports is that there are a lot of subjects and a lot of areas in our life where you can get a 97% and 98%, you can still get an A+. What we're going to show you is if you miss so let's say if you miss 3% of your notes in a band song, that would be 779 different components. Now, because we care about you and we don't want you to leave here losing half your hearing, we're not going to do 3% errors because that would be horrible sounding. What we're going to give for you is we have about 80 members in this group, and we have told them that we are going to play a song. This has an opening section to it called the Precise Prelude, and then there's a march. We are going to play it perfectly, hopefully, where there are no mistakes. It's exactly how it's supposed to sound. There is a small break, kind of 2/3 through the piece, where we'll stop, a little bit of fermata, then we repeat the march. Once we repeat the march, every student is allowed to make only one mistake. You will know when that is, trust me. And the reason that we do this is what you are going to hear is not a 3% error, not a 2% error percentage, or even a 1%. You are going to hear a 0.30775% of errors. And I think you'll be very surprised by, even when in the band world, in the music world, when you're allowed to make one mistake, what that sounds like. To kind of bounce off what Mrs. Dykey was saying earlier, that one of the skills that we teach in this group is perfection. Not perfection as in close enough, perfection in that if you miss one note, I always have to remind them, one note, one rhythm, one articulation or dynamic, this is what it may sound like. So, I hope you enjoy A+.
It's okay to laugh, by the way.
I'm just gonna say I'm going to enjoy following that piece, because no matter what I do, it's gonna sound good.
Real quick, as we transition to our last piece, I want to go ahead and just do a couple of thank yous on behalf of the staff here. Don't worry, I won't talk that long. I've learned over years that if I just get going, I won't ever stop. But I just want to say we're very fortunate that we have some of the great... Can I make a quick comment, by the way? Unless I'm crazy, I just want to thank you all and thank all the students. We have 100% attendance tonight, and that is a huge deal. So thank you very much. Thank you all. It's just, things happen, especially with illness this time of year. I just appreciate you all just making it work to be here, and just let you know that this is a great skill that you're building up by making this a priority. And thank you, parents, because you can't drive yet, so you're kind of at their whim. So, but I do want to thank the staff that we work with, both in this room and around the building. We have some of the finest staff around, some great, fantastic educators, and so many of them are so flexible, so that's really greatly appreciated. And to bounce off of that, I also want to thank our administration. We got Mr. Moshik over there, and also Mr. Johnson. They are super supportive of the band programs, and I appreciate everything you do to help just make things run around here. So if you could just give a round of applause for our administration. As always, thank you, Mrs. Dykey. From my perspective, you know, I'm very fortunate to work with one of the best educators in Nebraska, and we happen to have here in our own backyard. And I think the students would agree, and if you've ever seen her work, you just know that just spending a minute with her is going to make you a better musician. So thank you very much for everything. And although this isn't his final concert, we do want to thank Mr. Lutke. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm excited to share one more concert with you. If you could all give a round of applause. Thank you, parents, because as I always say, without you, these children would not exist. And so because of that, I want to tell you that I appreciate all the communications, getting them here for those early morning practices, making them practice when sometimes it doesn't sound like things are going like they should, but I'm hoping that you get to see the fruits of all that effort, just kind of bounce off of what Mrs. Dykey was saying earlier. But thank you, parents. Without you, we wouldn't have anyone to teach. So thank you very much. So students, clap for your parents. Students, this year has been a blast. Thank you again for being here and working so hard to prepare this concert. I think you're going to really enjoy what we have in store for you for the rest of the year. So, bravo. I'm really proud of how you guys prepared for this concert. And parents, I hope you enjoy our last piece, Moore Street Ride. Thank you all for coming out. Students, don't forget, you're part of the teardown crew. So please help pack up. But everyone else, have a great evening and happy Thursday.
Careful of those. Careful. Rory, those are recording.